Now, an empowered healing system that Traditionalist provides to you to purchase and become enlightened and empowered to heal yourself, heal your loved ones, heal your community. We call the intuitively aligned system, which works on spinal alignment and posture correction, as well as along with a number of other things. Now, that how that came about was through one, as a child, experiencing my grandmother or Nana, and she was a color therapist, but she was also, which used a dowsing implement. She wasn't using a pendulum. Used this what they call a V-rod dowsing stick, and it was made of whalebone. And obviously at the time, I thought that was normal, right? As a kid, going and seeing my grandmother and seeing her with this implement, and people would come to her, within the family or just people that knew her talents to get their necks and backs corrected and checked. And the way that happened was they'd come and say, "Hey, I've been getting bad headaches," and she'd always hold this blue color, which is embroidery cotton, which is part of another system which we'll talk about in another day, with color therapy. But she'd hold that with the stick, and then what she'd do is she'd start from, obviously the atlas axis, which is the C1, C2, and just move down. And obviously the end of that stick would point to the areas where there would be a misalignment, or what they say in the chiropractic world, a subluxation. And let's say it was out in that area, then what she'd do is she'd hand that person to my grandfather, and my grandfather would, I guess you'd say, is give that person a chiropractic adjustment or osteopath, a realignment. And it was usually, either elongation, pulling the neck up, or torsioning. And quite often you hear a click, and then obviously that patient would go in front of my grandmother again, and she'd test again, and lo and behold, it wouldn't point to the area again, which would say, right, that vertebrae was corrected, right? That subluxation was corrected. So this was something that I saw as a child. So that was quite normal to me. Obviously, for a lot of people, probably isn't. So, and obviously, they correct lower back pain and all sorts of things. They had all different ways of doing it, right? It was intuition with an intuitive tool, a dowsing tool, to find out the diagnostic information of what's going on with that client. And then obviously a physical adjustment to correct it. Now, obviously down the line, I've also been involved with other people that did a very similar other thing, but I was able to see that not only they could diagnose what the issue was intuitively, they were also able to realign that issue without physical adjustment, using energy itself and using our power of intention. And that was a real eye-opener for me. At that time, I was also working as a nurse, as an orthopaedic nurse in the orthopaedic ward, so dealing with people that were coming in for elective surgery, such as hip replacements, knee replacements, but also or spinal surgery as well. Seeing all sorts of injuries of people coming in, seeing numerous amount of x-rays, MRIs, CT scans, and just learning the ropes of assessment. Also just learning from that person we were working on, that patient. So a lot of experience came from that. A lot of what I visually experienced through my grandmother and also other people within that field. That all led to me creating, becoming an energy healer. This was really how I started. When all of a sudden I was disillusioned by the medical way of doing, and I wanted to do something that for me didn't have any BS involved with it. So all of a sudden I learned that skill, and I was having neck and back trouble myself, and through this means I was able to correct that issue. And what was kind of birthed out of that, all of that experience, my own experience in regards to doing it this way, was the creation of the intuitively aligned system, because I know there's so many people out there, a lot of you out there, that have got neck and back problems, and you would have wished to have in the palm of your hand the power to correct that yourself. Now, you can with this intuitively alignment system. which is currently available on my product store at Truly Holistic, trulyholistic.net/products, and you'll see it there if you go and check it out. Catch you later.